Good afternoon, guys. Once again, welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. You know, in South Africa, as South Africans, we are so frustrated. We are looking for leaders that are actually going to listen to us. And at this rate, we feel like we are squatting. It's like we don't belong. It's so difficult for our leaders to do things that are good for South Africans. And at this rate, I'm telling you, we have 3 political parties that love South Africa and South Africans. I'm telling you, and they are vocal about it, and that is ATM, Patriotic Alliance, and Action SA. South Africans are frustrated. It's like we're not being heard. It's like our voices are muted.
What are we saying? What is Ramaphosa saying? Is he protecting us or protecting these people? And yet, unigama 20 ama foreigners ukuthi bazo register within 21 days. Society in lagabani. I think we must take an action ayehle lo baba because uyasithengisa. Khona manje video viral. I don't think akayibonanga. IPakistan liyakhama. Kunama Pakistan akhafulela lokuthi sikuthengayo. What is he saying as ubaba wethu? And he is our president. So this is the time yokuthi simbonise ukuthi enough is enough. He's selling us and then we are enough.
Thank you very much.
Ngicela ukuthi Tina as ama South Africans, let us unite, especially Tina, like so it. Let us unite and sibonise uba Ramaphosa ukuthi la akhona kusitulo sakhe so president, we fought in 76. He wasn't here. We fought in 1986. He wasn't here. Ama bullet, ama tear gas and everything.
Did you hear the frustration in that lady's voice? Because you cannot tell me we are turning into a banana republic. And I just want to show you the difference. The parties that I've been talking about, that at least they speak for South Africans, like the one of HERMAN MASHABA, Action SA. You know, they talk like they see South Africans, like they understand South Africans, like they understand what has to be done. Because we have the laws that are supporting what has to be done. The Constitution supports as well what has to be done. But for some reason, with all that the ability that we have to deal with the situation, we are just not doing it. This one is a leader of Action SA. He said, I ain't never seen citizens who have to beg to be prioritized. President Ramaphosa, personally, I sincerely give up. Are these cries falling on deaf ears? Do you not hear them say? Or do you simply do not care? Or there's something you are not telling us? Or all of the above? I'm telling you. Listen, right here is speaking my thoughts. This guy right here. And then we have Patriotic Alliance. No, with GAYTON McKenzie, I'm not even going to bring here what GAYTON McKenzie has said, what Patriotic Alliance has said, because we know where GAYTON McKenzie stands. Whenever there is something that is about South Africa, he is there. He defends South Africans. He is vocal about his love for South Africans. He is just, and my goodness, I would like you to hear the NC as well, what they said going forward towards the end of the video. And we have ATM. You know, I was listening to VUYO ZUNGULA. I was like, these are the leaders that we need as South Africa, who understand what has to be done, who are bold enough to even say it on national television. Because now, there is no way, guys. There is absolutely no way. Like, what is going on in South Africa? Everything in South Africa is like, it's difficult to do when it's for South Africans. I need you to hear what VUYO ZUNGULA said. Please, I need you to hear this guy.
Definitely. Firstly, this is not a new issue. You will recall that there was a lockdown in 2020. Minister Ndabeni spoke on behalf of government to saying that all businesses, especially SPAZA shop owners, when the economy reopens, they need to be compliant, they need to register with SARS, they need to make sure that they are compliant with all of the laws. That did not happen. You also recall that even the late Minister of Finance, Minister TITO MBOWENI, at the time said, in the new economy, the economy opens, SPAZA shop owners must be registered and pay taxes. Now, the issue that we have as the ATM is that this is not a new thing. And even the SPAZA shop owners, this 21 period is a grace period because in any case, any business owner in South Africa, for them to actually practice, they need to be compliant with the law. It cannot be that now the government is enforcing existing laws, they're going to complain in one more time, whereas there's no new new laws that have been brought by the government. It's just a matter of enforcing existing laws that should have been complied with in the first place. And the last thing on this issue, it is the concern that we have is that this is brought about by the dying of children. Now, there is a concern that once this phase goes past, the government is going to forget there's not going to be enforcement, and then there's going to be another new cycle whereby they're going to want to intervene, whereas this is an existing problem that just requires the government to enforce existing laws. What we are upset about the ATM is that they spoke in 2020, they did not do anything. Why did it take the dying of our children for the government and the president of the country to come with these new regulations? Even now, every time on social media, we hear about fake foods being produced. Just now, in Fulani in the Western Cape, there is fake foods that are produced by dog food is being given to humans to eat, and they're sold via these SPAZAs. Now, the government is just going to wither the storm now because there's an uproar, and then after they're going to go back into non-enforcement of the laws up until another death happens in the near future. That is what we need to correct. We want a government that actually enforces laws instead of a government that will speak and say we want to enforce the law, but they don't follow through on that. In the budget debate last year, Minister Stella Ndabeni when we cornered her on this issue, she committed that the Department of Small Business is going to employ business inspectors that will do work that is similar to the labor inspectors. You recall that labor inspectors, they have to go through each and every company just to check compliance with the law from a labor perspective. However, when it comes to the business, especially small businesses, there are no inspectors that are going around checking compliance. So that is the crux of the matter. Ever since Minister Ndabeni actually affirmed that they will do that as a department, they've not done anything. And there's this argument to say the people that, the foreigners that are running these SPAZA shops are asylum seekers, therefore they need to be given leniency. Let me tell you this, there is no asylum seeker that will leave his children, that will leave his wife and just alone run to another country. And the only thing they have, they are just having maybe the clothes that they are wearing. When they get to South Africa, within 1 or 2 weeks, they suddenly have capital to open shops. They suddenly have networks in terms of buying in bulk and all of those things. What we're dealing with here, it is a case of criminal syndicates that are trafficking humans from Ethiopia, from Somalia, and making them work for them in South Africa. You will recall that there was even a report at the SPAZA shops in South Africa actually funding terrorist activities across the continent. So this also deals with the issue of the state intelligence, because where is the intelligence in our country? If people can come untraced, unvetted, they settle in our communities, no one knows who they come from, who are they, where they come from, which networks are they part of, and they get to be responsible for a very important part of our society, which is the distribution of food. When they get to South Africa, distribute this food like they're doing now, they sell fake products that end up killing our children. And even if we can look at the children that are dying now, what about the other long-term effects of people consuming expired foods, fake foods, and all of those things? So what we need here, we need all of these departments to actually take a responsibility in terms of ensuring the state intelligence must ensure that we do not have people that are unvetted, that are playing a critical role in our country. The small business must do their part to ensure that all businesses must work and operate in line with the laws. No, if you go to any other country, there are very strict laws in terms of enforcement of the laws. I was watching one minister from another neighboring country closing down foreign-owned shops in that particular country, and she was basically saying, I'm just enforcing the law. Yeah. But come to South Africa, you find that there's going to be negotiations after negotiations instead of enforcing of the law. And the facts are there. That part of the economy is dominated by foreign nationals to an extent whereby the locals are even threatened and when they're trying to open businesses. You'll recall that in Ratanda, in Heidelberg, there's so many people, SPAZA shop owners, South African SPAZA shop owners who've been killed and actually threatened for daring to open a SPAZA shop. So what are we dealing with here? Are we dealing with foreign nationals who want to coexist with South Africans, or are we dealing with criminal syndicates who believe they've got some right to that part of the economy, and if anyone dares to open a business in that sector, they will try and kill him, and if it's a government, they will try and avoid complying with the laws of our country. So we can't afford to be a banana republic. We want as the ATM to say to the government, enforce the laws, existing laws. That is all that is needed.
All right. And the South Africans are beginning to notice parties like ATM, Patriotic Alliance, and Action SA. You know why? Because we are looking for an ear that is going to hear us, the eyes that are going to see us, because we feel invisible, like we are not a priority in this country. And this one even said, I am joining the ATM, bro. There is no way VUYO ZUNGULA doesn't become president of this country at some point. Do you understand? And this one said, the message is correct. It's talking about VUYO ZUNGULA and ATM. The message is correct. The messenger is correct. The party does not have candid past. It's also not compromised, since its donors are the party members, not the Openama Republic. We've been subjected to by this useless GNU. I don't know about the GNU being useless, but as things stand right now, with the SPAZA shop issue and the mine issue, that useless GNU, it fits at this very moment. It really fits. Because what in the world is going on? It's like our leaders have lost the grip of what is supposed to happen. Phew. My goodness. I've never seen such a thing. I have never seen our country. every day it looks like it's going into the ditch. And the ANC, I want you to hear Stella Ndabeni. I want you to hear her, and then you be the judge of what she's saying. And then we have the comment section for you guys to share your views, because I have got so much to say. And at the same time, like, whatever I am going to say is not going to reach anywhere. It's not going to help me with anything until such time that we vote. That's when we are able to make change that we desire to see. Please do listen to Stella Ndabeni and be the judge.
We've had engagements with the food manufacturers themselves, as we have established a counterfeit task force that is made of the township economy associations and the manufacturers, because we are saying we need to know who are your distribution channels, who are your people that are wholesalers that provide the food and all the supply of the products that get to be sold to the SPAZA shops, and other people that are there, because the crisis that you see is not only a SPAZA shop. I'm sure you've seen even with the butcheries in Cape Town, wherein people were highlighting certain things that are doing. That's why we are clear that it's not this raid or this inspectorate are not only targeting SPAZA shops, but they're targeting everybody as a food handling process wherever they are. 21 days, we believe it is sufficient, because we know that South Africans have their own document. Anybody that is trading, you know your identity document, you know your proof of residential address and where you are doing business. And I'm certain that if you are listing somebody's space, you have your lease agreement. And that's all you're asking for. Go and register in your municipality so that we can assist by making sure that those that are not compliant as South African-owned businesses, we then get into the space as the department, working with the Department of DTIC, CEDA, and the municipalities to say, let us help those that are non-compliant from the South African-owned businesses. Yeah. Now, the banning issue that I see people talking about, people wanted the president to say foreigners cannot own SPAZA shops. The constitution of this country, unfortunately, the constitution that people celebrate, the constitution that was adopted by majority, does not allow that. It talks to everyone having a right to trade, but it does give us an enabling environment where it says, but those can be regulated, which is what we are doing. When we issue the draft bylaws, they are giving authority to the municipalities to be able to set quotas, but that does not take away the fact that there in the Immigration Act, Section 15 of the Immigration Act is very clear on who can trade, who is a non-South African. The Immigration Act, as things stand, between the Department of Home Affairs and DTIC, the determination is that non-South Africans can only be able to trade in South Africa if they invest a minimum of 5 million rands. Now, if the president says everybody has to be compliant, it means if you are going as a non-South African, there's your documentation that gives you the right to be here, and the documentation that gives you the right to trade. So it's not like you're going to come because you are a South African, you don't bring the documents, or you're non-South African, you can do. So all of these things that people are worried about, they are going to be addressed, because those people that have the right to trade will be the people that will trade. Yeah. Minister Steenhuisen said there's 5 manufacturers. Even themselves, they're going to be checked. If they are compliant with everything, who did they sell to? Because this is putting people's lives at risk. That's why the joint operations is important, to look at all the aspects, not only target the SPAZA shops, but everyone who is involved, including educating consumers and those that are leasing space to non-South Africans. The Immigration Act, again, on Section 42, is very clear of the role of South Africans in this country, what they can do and what they can't do. They cannot aid non-South Africans, whether it's about space, whatever that you give them, assist them with anything, if they are not here legally and not eligible to access the products. So we're not only looking at foreign nationals, we're also looking at citizens to say, you have a right, you have a responsibility to protect our environment and adhere by our legislations, because we are saying people must be here, they must get a business visa. Have you checked the person that is renting in your space, if this person indeed has the business visa? Yeah. So it's a two-way process for us.
Did you hear that? What is so difficult? What is so difficult to reserve the businesses that are supposed to be reserved for South Africans? What is so difficult? What is so difficult to say it? Like other countries are doing it and actually shutting down such businesses when they are being run by foreign nationals, especially the illegal ones. Why? Why is it so difficult? Yes, I do agree with her when she says South Africans must not lease their property to illegal foreigners to run SPAZA shops illegally. I do understand we do have a responsibility as citizens of this country, but now we are not getting the contribution that the government is supposed to contribute in this whole cycle of this illegal running of SPAZA shops that is poisoning children. It's not something that is supposed to be handled with soft hands. We have lost lives and we continue losing lives in this SPAZA shop business and the manufacturing of fake foods by illegal immigrants. Guys, what kind of a country are we having now? Can black people actually lead? Because it goes down to that now. Can black people lead? Can black people lead? Because the entire continent is a mess. And we are quickly joining that queue now. My goodness. Sure, South Africa will frustrate you. What is so difficult? And also, if you I've got so much to say, but I think for what I want to say, I need a different video for that one. Guys, I just wanted to show you what we need now. What we need leaders that are patriotic. We need political parties that are patriotic. Forget the ones that are pulling each other sideways here and there, that they are fighting to go back to the ANC wanting to get back the numbers that they've lost. For me, the more progressive they sound, the corrupt they are. But that is just me. We need something new. And that's something new. I'm beginning to look at the direction of your Patriotic Alliance, your GAYTON MCKENZIE, your Action SA. You know why I'm saying it's new? Somebody might say GAYTON MCKENZIE is not new. MASHABA is not new. You know why it's new? I'm grouping these three political parties under new. It's because we are beginning to hear more patriotism on their side. We are beginning to hear more patriotism that side. Something that is lacking on the other side. My goodness, South Africa will frustrate you. They're more, sometimes I regret why I came here to do this political content, even though I don't know much about politics. I just know that I am a citizen of this country and I need South Africa to be fully functional. And for that, I must know who to vote for. That is why I'm here. Sure, guys, what is going on? What is going on? What is it that the ANC took from these African countries, from all these other countries, that now we are paying for as South Africans? What is it? Sure, guys, if you watched up to here, this is South African Lady. Thank you for watching my videos. This is a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought to you.